Now let's get to know our workspace a little bit. I know we're diving into this very quickly, so some of you may need to slow down. Pause me at any time, feel free. You got a lot of stuff going on here. Very first, to understand the 4 basic locations. This is your art board. It's the place that you create all of your art, your design, anything that you want to publish or print. The white area is the printable and publishable area. The gray area around the sides is empty. You can put artwork over there, but it's not going to be published or printed. All right, so it's kind of just saver space for if you're working with a lot of material. Second, on the left side, you have the toolbar. The toolbar, for the most part, you're not going to move much. I've seen some people move it around. I would advise against that. This is a good location for it, so I would just leave it attached over there conveniently. You can go into the single arrow line all the way across the bottom. For our size screens, I think the double row works better. The one thing you will want to know is that there are a lot more tools than what you see. By simply looking at each tool that has one of these small white arrows in the corner, well, if you hold your mouse down, you'll see that in fact there's more than one tool in each location. Okay, there's 4 tools. So if I ever mention a tool that you don't see located in the right spot, realize all you probably need to do is hold your mouse down, allowing you to select which tool I'm actually using. Oops, don't need to use the pen tool right now. Above the pen tool across the top here, you have the options bar. These are options associated with your document, with the tool, with your artwork. You will see them change sometimes depending on which tool you use. You'll see that a lot more often in Photoshop, but options that we will touch on sometimes. And then probably the most important and sometimes most confusing is the panels on the right side. And panels are what we use a lot for a lot of different settings for our document. Like I mentioned earlier, you should have started automatically in the essentials, and you can always reset essentials, which would pop you to this. Now this is not so helpful because we're not using libraries, so why would it even pop out? So my suggestion would be to shrink that right away. You could then expand all of the tools that are the panels that you may actually want to use through the semester. Even still, there's some adjustments that you're going to learn about in here. We'll use stroke more often. Layers we will use, and it's kind of tucked away down here, so if I hit that, that slides up a little bit. Again, we don't need the libraries, so you know what? I'm just going to pull it out actually and just get rid of it altogether. The point is that you can adjust this to the settings you want. You're going to learn more about these panels as we go, how you want to use them. You're going to even learn what these little symbols are here if you have it shrunken away. You know, that looks like brushes. Well, in fact, it is the brushes. There we go. Now, you can expand the whole screen. You can also add or close more panels. You see all of these panels, symbols, brushes, swatches, stroke, gradient, transparency, and so on. All of the panels are located under Window. You can see each one of these with a checkbox are the ones that are currently visible over here, but there's a lot more that might be closed, or you can see like gradient may just simply be hidden right now by simply checking there. You can see that now gradient is checked. But if you're ever missing something and you can't find a panel that I refer to, go to Window to check that, to open it and locate it. You're going to learn more and more how you want to arrange your panels. Which panels are the most useful to you for different situations. You know, you might want a little more room up here for your color panel. Maybe I'll expand it. Maybe I just simply want it to be larger. You can pull that down, gives you a little more space. So there's a lot of different settings here. Ultimately, what I wanted to get at, though, here we are going to use layers, so I definitely am going to want to always make that one visible. What I was getting at, though, is while rather than every time trying to redo this and reset it, if you reset the essentials and it goes back to that annoying situation, what you could do, this is not required, but what you might choose to do is actually create a new workspace. By going in and creating a new workspace, okay, title it whatever's convenient for you. I'm just going to title mine temp because I'm going to not need it, get rid of it later. Click OK. Doesn't look like anything happened, but that's my workspace. You see, if I went back to that whole Essentials workspace again, or even the Reset Essentials one, this that we don't want, rather than having to fix everything, move everything around, I could go to that workspace that I created, and just like that, it'll go right back. So it's very convenient. Last thing before we continue on, I do want you to know is about screen modes. If you hit F on the keyboard, that's a shortcut that moves you through the 3 different screen modes. You can also see shortcuts to the screen modes right down here. So you can see there's normal, full screen, and full screen with menu bar and full screen. Personally, full screen is going to make use of your space a lot better. It's edge to edge, filling up your entire document. This doesn't work well. But it works fantastic for seeing just your artwork. So if you ever want to show it to someone, get a quick critique or something. And finally, this is the regular mode. Feel free to work in what you would like. Most of my demos, I usually will try to go into full screen mode like this, because that can be the most efficient. Last but not least, I already mentioned it once, Command 0 will make your document fit within the screen, but Command plus will zoom in, Command minus will zoom out, and if you're ever working with a large document and you want to slide it around, hold down space bar, and you can see that gets the hand, of which that is a toolbar over here. The hand tool, that's going to allow you to slide the document around by simply holding down space bar, clicking and dragging allows you to move it around. So few helpful hints, you might want to write those down in your notes. You will be using them, trust me. We went over a lot. I hope that you took some notes. Remember, if at any time you need to, you can go back to this video. You might even need to restart it over. Sometimes too much information is just too much to digest. If you didn't work along with it, you're not going to really get anything out of it. Please be aware of that and follow along carefully. Rewatch it if needed.